Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Expats in Ukraine with your host, me, Corey. Today, my guest, he is actually from Russia. He's half Russian, half Nigerian. He is a professional basketball player for the local Ukrainian team, Lvivsky Sambar. I always kept saying it wrong before, but I believe it's Sambar. Right, Alex?
Yes.
Yeah, his name is Alex Adediran, and we're gonna do something a bit different today because Alex has a really cool thing that he's auctioning off. So, Alex, why don't you just tell the guests or tell the audience what you're auctioning off here?
This is a jersey from Sonics, Sean Kemp with his autograph. During summer, I used to play when I was in Seattle for his wife, and I asked her to help us out to raise some money so I can help my friends who is right now in Kursk and Kherson. So it's a cool jersey and it's a real signature. And if you can help, it will help us a lot.
Okay, and you're fundraising as in, people donate money and then they can win it by raffle, or how does this work?
Yes, that's what I'm gonna do, and we will talk about the details a little bit later on.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, at the very end, guys, we're gonna talk more in detail about it, and yeah, hopefully you guys can win the jersey. Yeah, Kemp is a legend, by the way. So, Alex, it's really great to have you.
Thank you.
Lately I've been having like a lot of military people, but I'm trying to kind of, I guess, get different perspectives on what foreign people are doing in Ukraine. And yeah, you're one of my very few athletes that I've had on the channel, like the second athlete. And you're the first professional basketball player, and I'm a huge basketball fan. And I just want to say thank you so much for coming on. Yeah, I'm a
Thank you
huge
for
fan,
inviting
man.
me.
Yeah, no problem, man. I'm just so glad you're here. And yeah, I knew you were like 6'8" because I saw
Yeah.
like your bio, read like your bio so much about you. But I'm always surprised whenever I meet, such tall
It
people.
seems a lot smaller when you read it, but when you see each other in the person, it's always a little bit taller than what it is.
Yeah, and you were telling me like backstage that in Ukraine, there's actually taller people than you, right? They're playing in the
A
league.
lot. 220, 222 is, yeah, pretty tall.
No, that's insane. I think you're the tallest person on this that I've ever had on this podcast. So congrats. I don't know.
Thank you.
But I'll tell you what. So we're going to do, I don't know if you ever watched any of my episodes before. I like to
did.
do, yeah. Oh, great, man. So I like to do this icebreaker so people can get better understand, Alex, like on a more personal level. So I'll tell you what, it's going to be like a this or that thing. So I'm going to say two things and you just pick whatever one you would prefer. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. So first one, pilmeni or vareniki?
Пельмени.
Pilmeni. Okay, okay. Actually, usually when I'm at Puzada Hara, I always get pilmeni. I don't know. I like the little ones with meat.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. Moscow River or Dnipro?
Dnipro.
Dnipro, yeah. I've never been to Russia, but it's bigger, right?
I was swimming in it today, so
Oh,
Dnipro.
okay.
Yeah.
Of course, man, of course. Yeah, you were at Hydro Park, right?
Yeah.
Oh, nice, man. Next, okay. It's a tough word for me. Piatrochka or ATB?
ATB.
Yeah, I said that because I remember, I guess when they did this Kursk incursion, there was a Piatrochka, which is their
Piatrochka,
version
yeah.
of ATB, and somebody graffitied ATB on the side, and there's a
Yes.
lot of photos, yeah.
And
So-
one of our friends actually put a Beka Samber in his hands. I don't know if you've seen
Oh,
it
yeah, you sent me the photo.
on the front of the Peterочка. So,
Oh, wow,
yeah.
class. No, super cool, man. Yeah, no, I just saw this, and I'm like, okay, maybe this will be like a fun one. And, okay, so I think I know the answer to this last one, but Moscow or Kyiv?
Kyiv.
Of course, man. You were born in Moscow, right?
But I was born there, yeah,
No, it's-
unfortunately.
Unfortunately, okay. I'm sure a lot of the audience will be happy to hear the word unfortunately. But yeah, so tell me really quick, why are you in Ukraine? I'm sure you get this a lot.
My first time being in Ukraine was in 2011 when I came here to play basketball. And on the third day that when I got to Ukraine, I called my parents. I told them, this is it. This is where I want to be. I don't know why, but I had a feeling like this is finally, I have that something inside of me that tells me you are here. And my parents in US right now. And I told them I'm staying here. And 5-6 months later, I met my wife. And from that day on, I'm a Ukrainian.
No, but I can tell you're Ukrainian. Look at your Vyshyvanka, man. No, it's amazing. But okay, I'm so interested to talk about, growing up in Russia. Because do you consider yourself Russian or?
No, not after the war started. It was hard. It was a lot of problems because of my skin. I remember we got robbed a couple of times.
In Russia, right?
In Russia, yeah. My dad got jumped 5-6 times. I got jumped because of my skin color, even though I'm not black, all the way. But going to school, my teachers was not treating me like everybody else. I was always, just because of my skin color, I was always treated a little bit lower than regular students, even regular bad students, but I was treated lower than that. So it was tough growing up, but I made it.
Um, no, so sorry to hear that, man. Because I'm from LA and it's quite diverse, and I don't know. There is some racism in the U.S. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but this sounds like horrible. How you guys were actually beat up like multiple times. I don't know.
And you can walk on the street and they say out, "Oh, nigger," and they jump you with bottles, with knives. They found my dad on the floor, laying naked in his institution where we were staying at the apartment when I was a little kid. And my dad asked them, "Can you please be quiet because my wife is breastfeeding me." And I think it was three guys. They beat him up, threw him in the hallway naked, and that's when my mom lost her milk. And then basically I almost died, but my dad found a way, found some milk. But back then it was really hard.
Wow, man.
So,
That sounds tough. It's like Russian culture for you, I guess.
and now it's even worse. Yeah.
Well, of course, man. So, what did you know about Ukraine growing up? Because I know like Russia has, their kind of they control the media, they control the narratives,
Yes, they do.
and I know they treat Ukrainians as second-class citizens as well, or they depict them as this to their people.
We moved to United States in '95, and all of our friends was from Ukraine. We went to Ukrainian church, and so to me they were just like Russians, but from Ukraine.
Mhm.
I didn't know all that hate from Russian people towards Ukraine till I got here. Because when I was growing up, everything was kind of okay. And in America, I didn't see that much racism like it was in Russia because it was more black people. The school we went to, it was a lot of Hispanics, blacks, and white. So in States, it was different compared to Russia.
So why'd you decide to move to the U.S.?
My parents wanted me to have a better chance in life. And they knew that it was during that time when Russia had problems with food and all that stuff, when it broke up, and they saw an opportunity. On my father's side, it's a lot of sisters and brothers who is in States, and they invited us, and we took a chance.
And you guys moved to New York?
Atlanta,
Atlanta.
Yeah.
Okay, right on. And so you moved at 13 years old, right?
13 years.
Okay, 13. How tall were you at 13?
Oh, not tall.
Not tall. So you didn't think about a basketball career? It was just like a hobby at this point?
I boxed, I kickboxed, I wrestled, and I played soccer because my dad plays soccer. My mom played volleyball. So I was good at all sports. But then at the beginning, when we moved there, we didn't have enough money. So I used to eat a lot of chicken because that was the cheapest thing to get. And my mom said because I was eating chicken, and chicken is not always real in States. It's
Of
like
course.
with hormones and stuff like that. She thinks because of that, I grew up. In 2 years, I just went 7, 8 inches. Like I was tall and skinny.
Oh, wow. So how tall are your parents?
Um, I can say it in centimeters. My dad is 185.
Uh-huh.
My mama is 186.
Okay. Yeah, tall. They're both taller than me, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's fine. I think
tall,
I'm
yeah.
176. I don't know. But wow. And you're how many centimeters? 'Cause I know you're 6'8".
201.
201. Wow, man. It's crazy. How's it like being so tall, man? I don't know.
It got ups and downs. So like today when I was in train, I was
Oh, that's
squeezed.
horrible.
It's hard.
Yeah.
But in some situation, being tall
When you're
really
at concerts,
helps.
man, you get the best view.
That's the plus side.
Yeah, of course, man, of course. So once you started growing, this I can imagine maybe you took an interest in basketball because you had an advantage, or how'd you get into basketball? Is my question.
Because a lot of people, I was told than everybody, and I was begging my parents to get a basketball. We couldn't afford it then, but then finally they got me a basketball. During summer, I started just playing by myself in front of the house. We were staying with our sister in the neighborhood in Decatur, and that's how it started. I fell in love, and I couldn't stop. And
So you were in high school at this point, right?
middle school,
You were in middle school.
sixth grade, middle
Sixth
school.
grade. Okay,
Yeah.
right on. Because you were telling me backstage, once you got to high school, like it got serious, right?
I got to high school. I could have played varsity my first year, but because on my position, we had a couple of big players who went to D1, there was no
Oh,
point. So I played JV and started JV to get more development, so I can develop more.
yeah. And so your freshman year, you started JV,
Yep.
and were you already like, I don't know, 6'5" at least?
6'5", 6'6", something
Okay,
like
right on.
that.
And you still weren't the tallest.
Nah,
Did you go to some private school?
nah. It was Newton High School, Covington, Georgia. It was a
Okay.
public school right outside of downtown Atlanta, like 35, 40 minutes from Atlanta.
Okay. And you played center?
I played center, yeah.
Okay, right on.
That's my minus. Because if I would have played 3 or 4, I would have learned more handling and other stuff. But my coach, Coach Hendricks, because I was tall and skinny, he put me in center, and I learned center skills.
Yeah.
So
So how would you describe your game? If you're going to compare your game to anybody in the NBA, like past or present, who would you compare your game to?
I love to rebound. About 4 or 5 years ago, DJ Stephens, maybe you heard about
DJ
him.
Stephens.
Um,
What team?
He played from Budivelnik and Prometei. He played for Grizzlies.
Grizzlies,
He
okay.
He jumped very high.
Okay.
He's a known dunker.
Yeah, yeah.
He played in this league. And that year, I was the best offensive rebounder, but I don't jump as close as he does. So, like, I feel the ball, and I always lead the league in offensive rebounds. So, on defense, it's like I kind of think like I'm Dennis Rodman. And now I start to, the older I get, the more I start using my hand because I don't jump as high already. But I don't know.
I mean, you can still dunk, right?
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
it's like
yeah.
nothing. Like,
Yeah, I can still dunk. Yeah, I'm
it's-
hopefully till about 45, 46, I'm still going to be dunking. Yeah.
yeah. Okay. So you were telling me backstage as well. So you were in high school and you had some fierce competition, right? I don't know if it was your first year, second year, third year, but you were
My-
playing against some professional.
My
future professional
second
people.
year, yeah, Josh Powell, at high school, he went to Riverdale, and we always battle. Couple of schools from Atlanta, we always battle. But we ranked a couple of times #1, but we was always doing good during season, but come to playoffs, somebody gets hurt or something like that, and we only had 5, 6 people that can play. Everybody who coming off the bench, it was like a football player. It was backup, so it was hard.
Yeah.
So we won a region my final year, and then I twisted both of my ankles.
Oh.
Our first round to the last seed because we was #1 seed, and it was bad luck.
Okay. And then, so high school is over and you decided to play for Binghamton,
High school was over. I went to junior college first
junior college. Okay.
in Kansas, Seward County Community College.
Okay.
I played there, and then I transferred to University of Binghamton,
Okay. And
upstate New York.
yeah, you did 2 years there. What were you averaging?
9 and 6.
9 and 6?
9 and 6, 9 and 7 in 20 minutes of playing time. Or
Yep.
nine, just something like that.
What was your experience playing like in a university? I know it's probably D2, right?
No, it's D1.
It was D1,
It's
okay.
mid-major D1, American East.
Okay, American East.
Yeah.
Okay. And which colleges were you playing like in your
We played
Region.
Vermont.
Okay.
In that year, my last game against Vermont, it was to get to the finals in the region. That was my last game because we didn't have nothing loose, and coach just let me go because we had a big center who hopes were for him, but it didn't work like it was planned. So coach trusted me, and I had like 24 points my last game.
No.
And the same team, Vermont, they beat the #1 seed Syracuse that year. They put them out Sweet 16, I think.
Oh wow.
Or something like that. But they beat them in the first round. They were the last seed. Syracuse was the first
What year was
seed.
this?
2005, I think.
2005?
Yeah,
So-
it was a big upset.
So the 2 years that you were there at the university, did you play any future professional athletes play against or play with?
Barea, he went to...
Oh, JJ Barea.
JJ Barea,
Oh
yeah.
wow.
He went to, I forgot the name of the university, but we played against him. and we played Syracuse,
Syracuse, okay.
and they form an very long athletic.
Do you know what team he played for in the NBA?
He played for Grizzlies,
Mhm.
Clippers, I think.
Long
He is
athletic.
swingman.
Okay. Like
He played with Carmelo when Carmelo won the championship. I forgot his
at
name.
Syracuse.
At Syracuse, yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh man. I can't think of it. I
He
think I know what you're talking about though. What you're
very
talking about.
long arms, skinny.
Is it Sean Livingston or something?
No, no,
No?
no.
Interesting. I'll have to like think about that one. But yeah, man. So after your I guess senior year, it'd be a senior, right?
Yeah.
Because you did like 2 years at
2
junior
years,
college.
yeah.
Okay. Oh, before I talk about that, I want to talk about what's the lifestyle of being like a college athlete? Because I always see like in the movies, like these athletes, they're like so cool and I don't know.
A lot of athletes think they're better than everybody else on campus. Half of the people on campus don't like us right away just because we're athletes, and they think everything is given to us. But when you wake up 6 o'clock in the morning, you go train, then you eat breakfast, then you have a one-on-one session with 3 4 coaches for like an hour, then you go study, and at night about 6 7 you have a 2.5 hour practice with the whole team. So yes, they pay for a scholarship, but it's not given to us. Yes, we party like everybody else every now and then whenever we don't have games after the season, but we work, and
Yeah.
it's not easy.
Yeah, I can imagine, but being an athlete, I don't know. I just feel like a lot of people were like respecting them so much.
Some people
Yeah.
did, but some people, just because we're athletes, even the teachers were. The only thing the teachers, some did, like if we have a test, they give us a little bit more time. They never gave us nothing. If we have a test today and they knew that we came from a game like 5 6 p.m., and
Yeah.
that's how usually it happened, they just gave us 2 3 more days to finish up our stuff, to turn in the paper or something like that. But there was never nothing that they just gave it to us.
Yeah. No, I really like the sports culture in the U.S. They really develop the players there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because they work.
Yeah.
I wish we had a here same situation, but it's not like this.
Well, it's not like that at all. If you want to play basketball or something, you have to go to like an after-school program. It's not connected to your school at all, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so after university, what you wanted, you obviously went pro. So where did you play? Where was your first stop?
Semi-pro.
Oh, semi-pro. Okay.
I played for Atlanta Vision, I think it's ABA team. I bounced around different small leagues where some scouts come watch, and they might pick you from one league to another league to another. The highest one, but it also all about connections. The highest one I got to is CBA, and they cut me. But then the same players that I played against there, I played in Europe, and I killed them. It's all about, like, coach helps you believe in yourself, and you got to believe in yourself also. And I'm not gonna lie, the first time I went against some of those players, I was for some reason afraid. But then when I got overseas, it was different. When I played against CSKA that year, they won EuroLeague, and we lost to them by 3 points, and I was one of the best players against them.
wow.
So the older I got, the more stronger mentally I got. That's where a lot of players got problems. If you mentally strong here, it will help you a lot. But you gotta go through some stuff to get there. It's not gonna be just easy. No, you build yourself. You go up and down, and then you get stronger.
Yeah, of course. And then you came to Europe, right?
Yes.
So yeah, I'm inching closer to like when you're in Ukraine. But yeah, so after you're playing in the US, you come to Europe and you play for
Russian team.
the Russian team.
I was
Oh,
playing
wow.
for Novosibirsk.
Novosibirsk.
Played there for 2 3 months. Team went bankrupt, and 4 or 5 of us got cut, and I was depressed. I think after that I played for,
What year was this, by the way?
I don't remember, 2008,
Okay.
9, something like that. And I grew up in Krasnoyarsk, and they got a VTB league. It used to be VTB league. It's like the best league in Russia. It's CSKA, Khimki, it's all those teams. And I pushed myself to a tryout. Like, they didn't invite me, so I asked them, can I come? And I ran faster than a lot of those guys, and I did all the workouts. they did not take me to the training camp. By the way, the coach was there, Bagatstis. Bagatstis was the coach for Ukraine after that for the Ukraine national team and Kiev Basket.
Oh, really?
So yeah.
Well,
So
yeah, so you were playing. How many years were you playing in the?
I played for
just
3-4 months in Krasnoyarsk and I left the team
okay, on your own accord.
on my own because I was killing them in practice, but I wouldn't get no playing time. And then somebody from the president, like his right hand, told me the reason. Because the guys in front of me was given an apartment or something like that, and they got a plane before me. So I felt unfair. So I just said, I can't do this no more. So I left the team.
Yeah, and then where did you go after that?
I had another half of the season off. I was depressed again. Then I played for Cherepovets.
Where's that?
It's also a Russian
Okay.
team. And was there for half of a year. And then that coach had the coach and the agents. Basically, how it works. There's a coach and there's an agent. Agent try to push his players to that coach. And I was not, my agent wasn't the coach's agent. So after
okay.
half of a year, they kicked me off the team.
Okay, so then you were bouncing around a lot, right? And then let's talk about when you came to Ukraine. So why did you decide to come to Ukraine to play basketball?
I was playing in Estonia and in 2 different leagues, Estonia League and Baltic League. And I was one of the best players. And then I finally got an invitation to a good league. First 3 games, I didn't do so well. But then when I got used to it, we went from the last place, I think, to the 7th or 8th. We won 5-6 straight games. And Nikolaev, I don't know if you know this, but Nikolaev got the best fans. And basketball players know that. And at first they did not like me, but then they fell in love with me. And just like I told you, I fell in love with Nikolaev.
And how many years did you play there?
I played like 4 or 5 years there.
4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Okay, right on. And okay, so when you came to Ukraine, I know you could assimilate quite well because you speak, Russian. A lot of people in Ukraine speak Russian. And if you speak Russian, you could probably learn Ukrainian, quite easily. So what was it like when you first came to Ukraine? What were your first impressions, like living in Ukraine?
It's simple. It's simple and it's free. People were nice. I didn't see no racism. I didn't see whatever Russians thinking they hear
Nazis.
Nazis, all that stuff. I didn't see none of that stuff. That's why I liked it. Everything was nice. You did well. People let you know that you did well. You had a bad game, they also let you know that you had a bad game. And that's how it's supposed to be.
Okay, and what would you say the difference is between like Ukrainians and Russians that you can tell, just like mentality or just?
For some reason, Russian people mad. They are mad. They mad at they mad at their life, and because of that, they mad towards other people. Like they're not satisfied. And because of that, everybody is always running somewhere, always thinking bad, always thinking how you can betray somebody so you can get the benefits and stuff like that. So I felt that when I was in Russia a lot. Here, it wasn't like that.
It seems like a zero-sum game. It's like in order for someone to succeed, someone else has to do bad, which is not the case,
Yeah.
But this is like their mentality from what you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, so you're in Ukraine playing basketball. I'm familiar with, the NBA. I'm familiar with college basketball. I'm familiar with like D1, D2, whatever. So what is the difference between like the US style of basketball and like Ukraine? Coaching or just how the systems are?
Well, one thing we had when I was playing in Estonia, one of my friends' agent brought a team with American players. It was like 11, 12. And then the Estonia team had like 7, 8 local players, and then there's 2 of us, me and another guy from America, and we beat that team by like 70 points because
70.
70, yes. And they went from country to country to country, and they was getting beat 70, 80 points everywhere because some of those people were showing so much ego. They wasn't playing a team. And I told them, you're not gonna beat us by yourself. We play as a team because we already got our contracts. Yeah, it's nice to score, but it's also nice to get a rebound. It's also nice to get an assist. It's also nice when you move the ball. and this is what this is how they were losing, because one player think he is better than this guy who is playing for our team, and he starts doing some crazy stuff. The other player gets mad, starts doing the same thing. There was no team basketball. European basketball, you move the ball a lot, you play hard, you play physical. In some ways you play just like United States played in the Olympics. It's very physical now here, and it's getting better and better and better every year.
Yeah, and so you're still a, like you told me, I think you told me, via message that you're not retired yet, but you're thinking about it like in the next couple of years.
I'm 41, and yeah, I think I got one more year left in me.
One more year, okay.
It's not because of my body, it's just because of the war. Mentally is not fun. When the sirens go on, the game stop, we had to go to the basement. It can be for 1 hour, 2 hours, and it's like that 2-3 times during the game. And then when I talk to my friends who is fighting right now, it feels bad inside, basically.
Well, tell me about this. So you have friends that are fighting, right? You said your friends in Kursk and Kherson as well.
Yeah.
And then I think you told me that one of your friends passed away, right?
Yeah.
And this is the one
week.
you're fundraising for, right? Or
Him and a couple other friends who is still alive, and hopefully they'll still stay alive.
okay,
Yeah.
how did you know this guy that passed away? Was he?
He's one of the coaches. Like right now, I'm working at the gym, and he used to go to gyms and train, and he used to just go from gym to gym, work out. Like everybody knew about him. He was a cool guy who was telling you how to get bigger. Unfortunately, he used steroids, but he wasn't lying about it. He said he was showing how to use it the right way. Like, I never used steroids because if I did, then I couldn't play, because if you get tested, then your career is over. But he was just a nice guy who showed people you can do it one way or you can do it like me. I'm all for the natural way. I might not be big as he is, but it's all natural. So you pick and choose.
Do you know which direction he was in when he died?
No.
Can't say.
No.
No. That's sad, man. So, how does it feel knowing that you were born in Russia? I'm not saying that you identify or you are Russian, but you were born in Russia. How does it feel knowing that Russian people killed your friend?
I try to talk to some of my friends. When the war started, I was in Russia because I was supposed to get a citizenship the April of 29th, and they told me
Citizenship to Russia or
no, to Ukraine.
Okay.
And I needed 2 things. We was trying to do it by email, but we couldn't do it by email because my times I only had 2 years. I had a green card, and it was gonna expire in April. That's why I had to go to Russia with my wife. I had to get out of my apartment, said that I signed out, that I don't live there no more, and I had to get papers like I wasn't in jail or anything like that. And we did all that, and the 22nd, when the war started, my wife's mother calls us and starts telling us. And we have a group in Telegram, all basketball players, like we like a big family. And I start asking everybody what's going on. They start sending pictures, and Contact is like a Russian Facebook.
Yeah.
And I start putting it out there and telling them this is what happened, and they tell me this can't be happening. Even my neighbor, I was outside, and he knew I just came from Ukraine, and he was like, "We just need to drop atomic bomb on Kiev," and I was like, "What?" And I start shaking. I wanted to hit him, but he's like 65 years old. I almost got into 3 fights when I was there. And I just came from there. What are you talking about? Like, I went for a better life. I left here to be there. And now you telling me is basically trying to kill my daughter. And my daughter was in the basement the whole time with my friends. So I try to tell them the truth. I try to explain it to them, but it's like people, they look at you, but I don't know what's wrong with them.
Yeah, but is your wife Ukrainian?
Yeah.
She's Ukrainian. Okay. And which city were you in when the war started?
Krasnoyarsk.
Krasnoyarsk. And the vibe, were people like very vocal about, F Ukraine, I hope we nuke them? Or was that just this one guy and everyone was just...
everybody.
Everybody?
Everybody.
Oh, wow. So everyone was glad they invaded and they accepted Putin's reason about Nazis?
Yeah, they I don't know. Maybe they got something screwed up through television. I don't know, but yeah, that was all for it.
Okay. And you still have family in Russia?
Nah,
Not at all. Zero.
not
Okay. Good for you,
because none
man.
of them wrote me in 2 3 weeks, a month. None of them.
Yeah, I know so many Ukrainians that they have, family in Russia, and they just stop talking.
Same thing.
Yeah,
Nobody.
yeah, I know it's crazy, and I've heard so many stories. I had actually had one guest that was on, and they were telling me a story, basically what you said, how they have, family or relatives in Russia, and they were saying like, hey, like this is happening, and then their family was, no, no, it's not happening. Like, what do you mean it's not
That's
happening? I
fake.
see it. I literally see it, like rockets, bombs, explosions. Like, oh no, that's not happening. They're just killing Nazis.
I'm a volunteer, so I used to take people out of Nikolaev. We had bombs flying into my, like, this is my house, this is a little church, and there was 3 4 people sitting at the church. Missile flew in there. Uh, 2 weeks ago, we had a rocket. 3 weeks ago, we had a rocket flew in not so far from my house.
And
10-year-old boy died. Um so like we tried to tell them back then, and I was showing them photo. This is my friends from Kharkov or Kherson. I train kids from Kherson, and they will tell me all the situation. I train a kid from Mariupol. When he was trying to leave the city, they saw some kind of tattoo on his friend. They hold him, took a knife, and it wasn't like a Nazi tattoo. It was nothing. They just feel like they didn't like it, and while he is alive, they just cut it off,
the cut off the
uh,
tattoo.
cut off his skin. Yeah. Uh, so I got the people that I trained. They from Kherson. They were there when they happened. They told me a lot of stories and stuff like that. And Russians, they don't believe it, but I saw it myself.
Yeah,
So
and I hear a lot of like my Ukrainian friends, not all of them, but a lot of my Ukrainian friends, they say there's no such thing as a good Russian. Would you agree to that?
uh, if you right now in Russia and if you haven't said a word, yes.
Yeah, I agree with exactly what you said, man. I mean, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem.
Yeah,
And that's
because some of the main people in Russia, like singers and stuff like that, they left Russia a long time ago, and they became like what are you anti agents or something like that. Uh, so all the good people, I think, left.
yeah.
Everybody else who is there is basically for the war.
Yeah. And this is the thing though, it's kind of like this, I don't know if it's a paradox, but I always think about this. So the people that are like, these people that the Russians that don't support the government, that don't want anything to do with it, they leave. So now there's less people that could actually start a revolution or protest, and all the people that are left are just these bad, horrible people. So now it's like the prison guards leave the prison. So now you're just filled with like a bunch of prisoners, and that's basically kind of what Russia is. And so it's like, should the prison guards leave, or yeah, I don't know. This is like it's like a paradox, It's
Yeah,
something like this, but yeah, I just was having this thought the other day, and I was like, I don't know, because if I'm not Russian, I'm not Ukrainian, I don't have a dog in this fight, so it's hard for me to have a strong opinion either way. And I was talking to a previous guest about that. You have a dog in this fight, so I don't know, I respect your opinion a million times more than mine regarding all of this, man.
but you see how everybody who said something against Putin were killed. Everybody. It was even before the war started. There was this guy. I forgot what
Is
his
it
name, but
Navalny?
he was killed right next to the Kremlin on the
Oh,
bridge.
Sentsov? No, not Sentsov.
Uh,
No, was it Sentsov?
Simtsev.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was killed right there. I had a friend in Russia who did reports for him. People went to her house and they threatened her. So like 18 or 19, she left Russia like with a
Like a political immunity or something
yeah,
like this. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So she's in States and nobody knows because they were threatening her. They were trying to, they say, if you don't stop, we're going to kill you. And she was doing stories about him. So
But Russians don't care if you're in another country. Like, there's been so many assassinations of, people that spoke out
yeah,
against the government that were like in the UK, for example.
it is.
Yeah. And to
So
me, like, it's a little scary because I have this podcast. I talk to, military people sometimes. And a lot of times they're very kind of not a lot of times, basically every time, they're against Russia and they say such kind of provocative stuff. Like there was this one girl on here. She is kind of like a political figure. She was in the U.S. And then she works like I don't want to say the exact kind of, I guess, brigade or whatever she works for.
Mm,
But yeah, she was threatened by who's that propagandist?
Skabea,
Yeah,
yeah.
Skabeva. She was like threatened by Skabeva on her TV show, and she named her exact name. It's like
Oh,
Sarah Ashton Carrillo, and she was like scared at first, but after a while, she's like, you know, fuck this girl, and she was like saying to the camera, "Oh, I said that for yeah, whatever. They'll cut it out." But anyways, she was saying to the camera, "Skabeva, I'm still alive. You said I'd be dead. I'm still here. So f you, come get me." You know, and I was like, "Fuck," I'm sitting like right here next to her. If she's watching this, like, blin, like sometimes I might be scared for my life, you know?
um, I'm, I wish there are people in Russia that I wish I can see them one on one. I wish, what not like 10 against one, but close us in a room one on one, and the strongest will survive. I have in my head like few people that I used to know.
Yeah.
Even though like the person who helped me do all my papers when the war started, my wife, we were sitting on the couch. My wife was crying, and back in 2019, I think I wrote him. I was like, come here. Let's go to the sea, Odessa. I'll show you the Ukraine and stuff. Nah, yeah, treat Russians bad. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm here Russian and never had a problem. What are you saying? So we were sitting there. I think like this is the 24th or 25th, and my wife was crying. And soon as we left, they start posting up stuff like Nazis and all that. We were just at the house, and
Hmm.
I wrote him, "How you gonna say it? I was just at your house. You know me from when we was growing up. His parents know me when we was growing up, and how you gonna say that?" So
Do you think it's because of like the propaganda that
yeah,
they
it's
feed these
TV.
people?
It's
Yeah.
TV. They don't look at the main source. They just look at the box, and whatever they say, that's what they believe.
Yeah. I was talking to a previous guest like about this as well. In Russia, a lot of them don't really speak English, right?
No,
So they're stuck with the Russian internets. And
only
sure, they can
Russia.
translate, but they're on Russian internet talking to other Russian
And a lot
people.
of good stuff gets cut out. So
Yeah.
Russia want them to see only what they want them to see, not like the whole information that is about some kind of subject.
And why do you think you weren't susceptible to this? Why do you think that you're not that type of person?
Uh, because I've been here since 2011, and
I mean, do you think your time abroad it helped you as well, like in the U.S. and Europe?
yeah, because I travel, I see in a lot of stuff. I think I don't react. I think first, then I react, and I see where it's good or bad. Like I saw the bad stuff in Russia when I was there. I see there's no perfect country. It's some bad stuff here, but it's not what they say.
Mhm.
So I just have my own mind.
Yeah.
I got open information and I read.
Yeah. Do you think you'll ever be mad enough to just join the military and just fight against
I
Russians?
tried.
You tried.
I tried, and I have some friends who called what is it called, the Legion of
International Legion,
yeah,
Georgian International. Okay.
and like so many documents that I had to do because like I'm a citizen without a passport.
Hmm.
At the beginning of the war, I tried, but they was like, "Nah, you too tall. We have enough people here, and just help do what you're doing.
Hmm.
Volunteer, help there. Help." We was taking food at 6 a.m. in the morning and at 12 to the places where our soldiers were hiding in Nikolaev.
Well,
Yeah, so like I know a lot of them, and they's like, "We got enough people. Everything cool. You just keep doing what you were doing."
yeah.
And then when I was playing in Rivne, I trained one of the captains who he prepares for the next step. And he called that that legion,
International Legion. Yeah.
yeah. And he was like, "Don't go yet. If they need you, they got your name, but don't go."
Mhm. Do you ever feel scared living in Ukraine?
Mm,
Because you have a family.
I'm scared more for my daughter. For myself, that in Odessa, when maybe you know about that story, when uh, 3 months girl died when the missile flew in the building.
Oh yeah,
The father went to the store. You know that story?
I think so. I was in Odessa. I think. Yeah.
And I was people was coming out of my. I had a van. This woman let me use her van. I had a van. People was coming out when we heard the missile flying, And the first thing I think is he's gonna go to the train because I was at the train station, like in Kramatorsk. The first thing I think is gonna be flying here.
Mm-hmm.
And but in 15, 20 minutes, some of my friends told me where it flew in, and it was the father went. He died like 9, 10 months ago. Soon as he found out his family dead, the next day he went to the war.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Oh,
hope
I heard.
this don't happen. But if something happened to my family, I just need to get my papers straight, and I will go to. I will go fight.
Yeah. It's it's so interesting because you'll be fighting against people that you grew up with, and you're absolutely fine with it because they didn't treat you right. They don't really care about what you have to say, your experiences. You have a family here that they don't care if they die or not. I don't know. It's so crazy to me. It's so backwards. I can't imagine if I call my mom in the US and I just say like, "Hey mom, like this is happening." And she's like, "Nah, I don't believe you. Trump said it's not happening."
That's how
So,
my mom said at
yeah.
the beginning of the war. That's how my mom told me, "Don't worry about it. They're just gonna shoot out some stuff where we have tanks and stuff like that."
Mm.
And me and her didn't talk for like 4, 5 months.
Well,
My wife was speaking to her. I was mad.
and how is she like now, your mom?
She's different now,
Mm.
but she also thinks that they're still good Russian people. And I told them, "You can talk to them. Me, my daughter, my wife, we're never gonna step a foot on Russian territory."
Hmm. Yeah, I don't think I will either. I've never been to Russia and I don't want to go. But what do you think about this Kursk situation? Because I know you have a friend. You said you got a
Yeah,
friend
I
that's there.
got
Like, what do you think about the situation? I feel like it's very inspirational for Ukrainian people.
a lot of people from what they told me, they were for war at the beginning in Kursk, and this one guy, I played with him. His name is Vova. I keep throwing him information. Uh, I throw some information, then I block him. Um, uh, he he did not expect that this is gonna be happening to them, and
Mhm.
that's what I want them to feel. How Ukrainian people have been living for 3 years, and they've been living like this for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So I just want everybody there to feel how these women, kids, and all that stuff that's happening to us feel it there.
But the thing is, like Ukrainian soldiers, the military, they're not as savages as the Russians are. You know, I've seen so many videos, about this Ukrainian military checking in on these Russian people that that are still living in the city, and they're giving them food, supplies, water. Whereas, in vice versa, you check out Bucha and what happened in Irpin and all this. They were raping people, they were killing people, torturing people. They had like this guy has a guest. He's like a photojournalist, and he was there like in Bucha the first day it got like liberated. And he was saying it was sick, man. You go around the neighborhood, you see like a dog walking around with a piece of like someone's arm. You see like people come out of their houses. They say, "Come here, check out in my basement." They used it as like a torture dungeon. You go down, there's blood everywhere.
I know about
It's
Bucha.
sick, man.
I have a guy right now who came here from Kherson, the other side that is occupied, and he's 17 now. They were trying to make him to go to war against his own people.
Well,
Uh, I have two guys who from a small town where that was like real sad. Wife, husband, and two of the kids sitting at the table eating. Russians threw 2 grenades, closed the door, and that night, some of my friends, they did not take their guns. They just the night vision thing, and they were trying to catch. Although it is so many stories also that I know, that's why I can't sleep well because I always think about it. I take all this information, unfortunately, close to my heart. That's why I want to help as much as I can by volunteering and all this stuff.
tell me what you do to volunteer. You told me like a bit earlier, but
We have me and Vova. He has like they gave him like a big place, and before it was real big, like where I used to take people to Lvov or Ternopil or somewhere. On the way back, I bring food, and we're looking for all the people who got left. We're looking for mothers who got 2, 3 kids, and their husband is fighting
mhm.
or died and stuff like that. This is one of the ways. The other way, Misha, he is a local YouTuber, and we try to. He has way more friends than me because he had like 20,000 plus something.
Mhm.
And if one of the places looking for like a drone, and then we try to get money for the drones. I put out information. We go ask for money and stuff like that. We try to find stuff that we can sell, or like a souvenir, like a bullet shell, like went for like 60,000 in front of my gym. They were doing drag racing, and they had a shell like a souvenir, and the guy bought it for 60,000,
60,000.
60,000 grievance. Yeah. So it's like we find different ways how we can help. 5, 10,000 there, 5, 10,000 there. Then we can send it to buy it. I have a friend who was a fighter. He was one of the top fighters in Ukraine. He was in Sumy, and he was like, "We need help for diesel and some stuff like that." And the next day, we closed like 5,000 grievance. We closed in 20, 25 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then he showed me what he bought with it. And then people who helped me, I showed them and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So it's
So-
like this. My high school coaches, my college coaches, some of my people helped me who I thought were not gonna help me, but the people that I thought were gonna help me didn't help me. Some of my college friends sent me money to help and stuff like that.
Yeah, so like you said, you still talk to your college friends and
Yeah.
your coaches and all of this. Do they really care about what's going on in Ukraine, or they're just too busy in their own lives?
Uh, if we take like 100%, I think it's like 10, 15%. Everybody got their own life. People just like us, we did not think about it, what happened in 2014 till it hit us. And this is our fault because we was living here quietly and nothing was bothering us. But people close to Donbass and all that stuff. So that was a mistake for the rest of the Ukraine. And now, and I think in States, if you don't hit them, people, yeah, they read it, but they don't think about it.
Yeah,
That's how I feel.
I had a good friend growing up, Ryan, and so Ryan, I just recently kind of reconnected with him, and he has like a family. His wife is, her family is from like Myanmar, like Burma, but she's
Uh-huh.
born and raised in the U.S. And so he said that he was telling me he got really political, like when I first kind of reconnected with him online, and he was talking about how he's going to vote for Donald Trump. He said, Joe Biden, like F him, Sleepy Joe, Kamala Harris, like F her. And it's so interesting because he's like an African American guy, So Donald Trump, obviously, he doesn't really have a good track record of helping or caring about African American people, which kind of blows my mind. But anyways, and I told him about like, what do you think about Ukraine? And he was like, you know what? If Russia actually sent their A army, their A team, then there would be no Ukraine right now. But they sent their B team or C team. And I was like, what the heck? What kind of reality are you living in? And he goes, why should America support Ukraine when my wife, her family is from Myanmar and they have a war going on, but nobody's talking about that? And I was like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me, man?
Serious.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. We have like some sort of brainwashing propaganda in the U.S. as well, man.
But I think it's because here is more talked about it. Poland is around the way. Latvia is around the way. And this is all the countries that work together. So that's, I think, why. Because Russians said, a lot of them politics in Russia said, yeah, we're going to take Ukraine, then we're going to go to Latvia, we're going to go to Poland and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
this is why I think is more nationalized. And that's why we're getting more help, because they don't want to go farther than Ukraine.
Yeah. And so do you speak Ukrainian, by the way?
I know some words, but in my head, I think either on English or Russian. But like I know the words and I try to speak to them. And it all depends who I'm talking to also. Like my daughter, she knows Ukraine perfect. And I'm like, speak to me in Ukraine. But I don't tell her, you can speak whichever language you want, because I lost a lot of friends too, who I thought was my friends, because now your daughter got to speak only Ukraine. You got to speak Ukraine. It's a couple that I was going to do business with before the war. And when the war started, he speaks Russian, she speaks Ukraine. And they were telling me, you got to speak Ukraine, only Ukraine. And I stopped talking to people like that. You got to look at the person, the actions.
Actions, yeah.
And I helped him a lot, like his battalion or whatever.
As I'm telling you.
Like I gave him, one of my friends sent me pants, shirts, boots, night vision things, tourniquets for the blood. Like so much things I did for him. they bought their first car. I took them to Odessa and all that stuff, and then they're gonna tell me how to raise. They're not married and they don't have kids, and they're trying to tell me how to raise my kid. I mean,
That's not right, man. No, it's so interesting to me as well because I had a guest on and he was doing a lot of work with Pravi sector, which is like this right sector or
Yeah.
whatever. And I asked a question. And it was, a normal question for me, but he would just look at me like I was like dumb. I was like, so everyone in Pravi sector, they probably speak Ukrainian, right? He goes,
mostly,
they
yeah.
speak whatever they want, bro. Like if they speak you Russian, they don't really care because they're both like fighting Russians and they're both in the trenches together. They both understand each other. Doesn't matter what the language they speak.
You
It's like
gotta
sure, a
look
lot of
at
them speak
the
Ukrainian, but
actions,
yeah. So it's like nobody really cares once you're like on that level. But when you're like, back here, it seems like people they get caught up in their emotions. And sure, I believe if you're a Ukrainian and you're in Ukraine, I feel like language does develop your identity and the identity of the people, but forcing it on someone,
We should
Yeah,
know the language
yeah.
because we're in this country, yes.
Yeah.
But you have a right to speak whichever language you want.
yeah, especially you because you're not from Ukraine, and he's like telling you. I mean, sure, like you could probably learn it easier than I could, for example, but still, it's kind of I don't know. It's really hard. Like these people that are hardline on both are, yeah. I feel like in the middle is probably like best
Yeah.
to be. Yeah. But do you ever have any? I don't know how you speak in Russian, but do you feel like you have an accent, like a Russian accent, when you speak Russian?
When I speak Russian, no.
So do-
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, because I know people say there's like a thick, like some people have a thick Moscow accent when they speak Russian. You don't have that?
I don't think so.
Yeah, yeah.
We had a good, like, it's a bad situation. We were sitting in Lvov. It was three of us, one guy from Nikolaev, the other one from Odessa. And after we was finishing eating, this woman comes up to us and told us, "Yeah, guys should be talking Ukraine." And like I blew off. I'm like, in Lvov apartments, like people living at my house for free. 7 to 8 people was living there for free. And I'm telling her, in Lvov, your rent apartment went up to $2,000-3,000, and a lot of you left to Poland. So they getting paid in Poland, and they giving their apartments. And you
Yeah.
telling us how to speak, while I have at my house living people from for free till they get find another place or stuff like that. And you telling me about the language, and she just looked at us, put her eyes down, and left.
Yeah. And
So-
yeah, I used to live in Odessa. We talked about this before.
Yeah.
You said you were gonna come, but I guess we couldn't like catch each
Couldn't,
other.
yeah.
And you went to Odessa that time, right?
Yeah.
How was it?
Odessa living. Odessa.
Where'd you hang out in Odessa? You like Deribassiska or just the beach?
I made my daughter promise to Aqua Park.
Aqua Park, okay.
yeah,
On
Hawaii.
Arcadia, da?
Yeah,
Okay,
Arcadia,
yeah.
Hawaii. That's her favorite place to go. So every year we go there. We
Okay.
went to Aqua Park and then for 2-3 hours to the sea.
To the sea, okay. Did you hang out in Deribassiska at all?
No,
No?
we
Okay.
just go there to swim because in Nikolaev we only got a river.
Yeah.
So we just want some salt water and Aqua Park.
Yeah, I've never been to Mykolaiv. I've always wanted to go. Do you think I should? Can you recommend it?
Yeah.
Okay, what's there to do there?
It's not much, and this is the reason why I was in Gidra Park. I was doing some videos, then I'm gonna show it to my friends, and I would like to do the same thing in Nikolaev. But we have a couple of places, couple of museums that you can see, couple of buildings that got destroyed because of the war. So if you go there for 2 days, you have enough places to go see.
Okay, so you said you wanted to do something similar to Hydro Park, right? Like an outdoor gym,
Yeah.
like a community outdoor gym.
Yes.
I can probably connect you with the guy. So he was a guest on my podcast. His name is Michael Colville Anderson. He's from Denmark. He does urban design, and he's connected with like the mayor of Mykolaiv. I guess it's like Kim or something like this.
Kim Sienkiewicz,
Yeah,
I
and
know them.
he's done some stuff in Mykolaiv with kind of bike lanes and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And if you are interested in starting some urban project, I can connect you with my buddy Michael. He can give you some tips on how to do it, or he could even kind of help you or connect you with some people in Mykolaiv that you can kind of talk to and start this
Okay.
project. So I can definitely
Okay.
like help you with that. Man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be good.
No, I just feel like this urban design, especially like this urban planning and urban design, Ukraine needs it, especially when the war ends.
I
You know,
have kids who
yeah.
comes to me like, we have nothing to do. A lot of people cannot afford to go to the gym because parents right now, it's hard to get a good job, and they have nothing. They like crying, and all of them, their back is always bent down because they always in
The phone,
phones and
yeah.
stuff like
I'm
that. They
starting to
have
get that
nothing
too,
to do, and most likely this year maybe we have 1 or 2 schools for whole Nikolaev open.
Mm.
Most likely they're gonna be sitting again in front of the computer, and so many problems right now with kids back.
Yeah. And so
So
after you retire, so you're gonna retire like in a year. Then what are you gonna do, man? What are you gonna spend your time on?
uh, I like gym. I want my own gym. I want to train kids. I want to change somebody's life. I already did that a couple of times, and I want to keep doing it. I never knew that it feels so good to change somebody's life. And when the war started and I started helping, it makes me feel it makes me feel complete. Like, and still, I'm thinking I'm gonna do something in Nikolaev. I have this feeling. Like not a lot of my friends, but some of my friends, they ran, and I don't respect that.
Hmm.
I can leave Ukraine tomorrow and be alive, but I'm not going to because no, I'm helping and I think I can help somebody else.
Hmm.
It's just one problem that I might have to leave because my dad is almost 5 years. He had a heart attack,
Oh wow. Sorry.
and my mom they cut a leg off like 9, 10 months ago.
Leg.
Yeah,
Oh wow.
because
Sorry,
high
man.
blood.
High
Uh,
blood pressure.
yeah, and they really need my help, and that's like the only thing that's keep calling me. Like I talk to them every day.
Hmm.
We need help. We need help. So they like home, and then somebody come check on them. Then they go to the hospital, home hospital,
Hmm.
and I want to go there, help them out, sell everything we have, bring them back here, and prove to my mom because even before the war my mom used to ask me, do you have food, do you have clothes? I'm like, what are you talking about? Because she used to watch Russian programs, and I don't know where they were getting it from, that but they were showing empty shells, like we don't have food. And that happened a couple of times, and as soon as it happens,
Hmm.
me and my wife goes to the store like just outside of it and show them the food, the stores, we have everything.
Yeah.
Stop watching TV because I don't know why
Honestly,
they're trying to
honestly,
make it
that's a
look.
good way to combat propaganda. Just showing them
The
what sad.
facts, the
Yeah, the fact.
facts.
Exactly, man. Like
And
firsthand. Like how can she deny that?
but it was like 18, 18 or 19.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So do you have any problems like leaving or entering Ukraine since you have a Russian passport?
My I have a uh, it's expired. My local.
Hmm.
It's not a passport.
Yeah.
It's expired. But because of the war, they said that because I go to immigration all the time, and they know me pretty well because I played for Nikolaev. A lot of them go to the basketball games.
Hmm.
Uh, it's expired. I can leave whenever, and I can come back whenever because I have a wife and a daughter. But I'm trying to stay here as much as I can so I can help, and then when everything goes well, then I'm gonna try to go help with my parents because that's also like part of my job.
Yeah, do you think your mom will have trouble entering because she just has a Russian passport, right?
We will work on it. I don't know. We have to try.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt, but yeah, I remember I was going. It was like 2016 or 2017, 2018. I was coming from Batumi
mhm.
to Chornomorsk. It was like by
Uh-huh.
ferry, and I met on this ferry. I met like a Russian girl, but she's from Kaliningrad, and
Kaliningrad.
so it was me and like two Swiss people and this Russian girl. She joined our little group, and then when we entered like the port, they basically just took her to the back and interrogated the hell out of her. And this was like in 2018, man, even before that. So I can imagine what Russian people are going through now that want to
When
enter.
I was coming back to Ukraine, there was already a war.
Mm-hmm.
They took me to the back room also,
Mm-hmm.
and 10, 15 minutes. They asked me questions. They looked at YouTube. They looked at who I was, how long I've been in Ukraine, and all that stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
everything is fine.
Yeah.
So if we write an invitation letter uh, for her to come here, I think we'll be fine.
And so what do you think about the current situation in the war right now? Do you think it has a conclusion anytime soon, or you think it's
Talked to one of my friends. He said 26, 27. That's what he thinks.
26, 27? Oh,
It's hard.
that's not anytime soon.
That's what he thinks, but we never know. Like, plane can crash, Putin can die, and all that stuff. So anything can change in a day. But he thinks 26, 27. That's my close friend.
Regardless of the war, whether it continues or it stops, you'll still be in Ukraine, right? Because this is where
Yeah,
your life
I'm
is.
trying to bring everything that I have in United States and start my own business and help kids and
That,
trying to make Nikolaev better.
that's very honorable of you, man. Like I used to work at this private school teaching English in Kiev, and they had a really bad kind of exercise facility. You know, they had like a basketball court, but it was like so bad. And since I have experience like playing basketball in the
Hmm.
US, I was like, maybe I can just be like a coach to these kids and just help them out because they don't even know how to dribble, don't even know anything about basketball. And then the teachers there, they don't give them time to learn.
Hmm.
And I thought it would be like a good opportunity because they actually have this kind of basketball court, even though it's like run down. And I was only there for, a couple of years. I didn't get around to it. But, if you can actually do something like that, bring sports or, to kids or help
I
them
had a
grow.
I had a s- I had a school for kids, basketball school for kids. It was going pretty well. We had over 100 kids. It was supposed to extend that summer.
Mhm.
Um, we had sponsors. We had a meeting, and we were supposed to build the gym and open up another basketball school in Nikolaev. But the war started. All the sponsors lost their money and
Mhm.
stuff like that. So um, have to start from the beginning.
Yeah.
But in order to build something, the work has to be over because it can fly anywhere. The way they're shooting, uh, then there can be nothing there. You're trying to build something and lose everything that you have.
Yeah.
So
No, it's true. It's true. Well, I'll tell you, we're just about out of time right now. So let's do this. You have your jersey. Yeah, let's talk about it again and just give people more information on how they can, how you're gonna fundraise and how they can kind of get the. Yeah,
what?
should we get the jersey?
I don't know where it's at.
Uh,
Ah,
yeah, I can.
on,
I'll
on
grab it
top.
really quick. One second. Yeah, we'll just cut that. I guess just pull it from the side. So don't move really quick. Just keep it here,
Mm-hmm.
and then just grab it. Just count to. So we'll just do like this, like sit. Uh, okay, so yeah, we're just about on time right now. So I'll tell you what. I know you have this jersey. You're raising funds for. Yeah, you tell it. Yeah.
This is the jersey of Sean Kemp. We'll talk about it later on. What I'm gonna try to do, uh, we decide either 200 or 300 hryvnias of donations, and your name, and then we're gonna do like a random check. We're gonna try to go for 2 3 weeks. Everybody who donates, and it's like I don't know what it's called, but I know what it is, and we just put a like
Zbir?
everybody's name.
Oh yeah. Oh, raffle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
raffle. And whichever person that comes up, we will send it to you. And the money doesn't go to me. I have a job. I don't get paid a lot, but I'm surviving. But this money will go help to a lot of my friends. And Sean Kemp doesn't play anymore, but for some people who doesn't know Sean Kemp, you can just put it in the Google. He was one of the best dunkers who came out of high school. So I played against him also
Oh, you did.
in IBL. Yeah, he played a couple of games against us.
Oh wow, he's good, right?
So yeah.
Of course, man. Oh, it's great. So I'll tell you what. Yeah, we'll talk about that, like the jersey later. Talk about how the fundraise for it. I really think it's. Oh, by the way, just can you tell the audience who you're fundraising for?
It's some of my friends who right now is under Kursk and Kherson, who is in Kursk and under Kherson. But I have a lot of situation. The more money we got is like uh, 3 4 different directions. And I ask people, what do you need the most? What do you need the most? And then I divide money on even sections, and then we buy them or we send it to them, and they send me a video of what they bought, what they use that money for.
Great, man.
Basically
Great.
like that.
So I'll tell you what. We can use this part. You can just plug your social medias, or if you want people to how they can reach out to you or something like this, just talking to that camera, or just plug anything else you want, and then I'll wrap it up.
Believe in Ukraine. Pray for us. People here don't deserve what's going on. I've been here since 2011. I'm half black. Uh, Never got treated bad, except my wife treated me bad every now and then. But on serious note, uh, don't listen to Russian media. It's not what they say. Kids here, I have a small class of kids, and one of the girls, every time she hears a loud noise, she bends down because she from Kherson also. It's like in one of the gyms that I
Hmm.
train, we have a program for Kherson kids this program pays for them, and I train them, and 5 or 6 of them from Kherson, and the look in their eyes, the body language, how they scared. I try to get them out of that situation, but it's getting better. But it's always, every time there's a loud noise, they scared, they cry. It's sad. So just help us, everybody who listens to this, try to help us. And Ukraine is not gonna give up.
Slava Ukraini, man.
Героям слава.
Okay, so Alex Adediran, thank you so much for joining me on the podcast today. I'm just going to wrap it up here really quick. So thanks at home for watching this episode of Expats in Ukraine, brought to you by The Gays. If you like this episode, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to ask a question to Alex, leave a comment, ask a question, and be sure to subscribe to the channel, because we're going to have more amazing guests just like Alex. And Alex, what I like to do at the end here, I like to maybe shake the hand of the guest. Would you like mind coming over here? And then we can show off the jersey as well. All right, thanks, man. You're still talking about me. Thanks for coming out, bro.